Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the cute, cuddly Skaven. We've got another replay submitted by Aerocrastic. He's going to be taking his Skaven up against an Empire player. This was fought in, I believe, Goblin King's tournament over this past weekend, so let's get to the armies here. We've got the Lord Skrolk, of course, leading the way for the Skaven. No surprise there. In terms of his spell loadout, he's got Pestilent Breath, Wither, and Vermintide with his two items. Looks like he's also got a Skaven Assassin to be a bit of a bodyguard. A couple of Poison Wind Globadiers. We've got 3 units of Rat Ogres, Hell Pit Abomination here, and then a huge line of Plague Monks mixed with Skaven Slave Spears and regular Skaven Slaves. Whole bunch of bodies across the board. And let's have a look at this huge Empire army. The Empire also going with a very wide strategy here. General of the Empire up on the Griffin here. Looks like he's got the Charm Shield and Foe Seeker. Jade Wizard there for some healing. He's got 4 units of Empire Knights. And then it looks like a solo Grenade Launcher Outrider. Front line's going to be Sigmar's Sons with 3 units of Flagellants. Got some more Swordsmen, Spearmen, all sorts of state troops scattered all around with some Free Company Militia as well. Very good pick against the Skaven. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, we'll get underway here. You can see the Empire player pushing up the hill, going to be positioning up here near the top, where the Skaven player going to have to push forward here. No artillery on both sides. This map doesn't really lend itself well to that, but grenade launchers right off the bat going to be opening up shots onto these poor Skaven Slave Spears, doing some solid damage. Maybe not the best use of their ammunition, but clearing out that chaff certainly is useful. And yeah, this is going to be just a huge battle. Both players bringing super wide armies. Let's watch the Empire Knights as they lance into these rats here, just sending them tumbling back down the hill there. Grenade launchers, and it does look like the Rat Ogre is going to be following up here. But this is potentially a little bit dangerous. You can see the General of the Empire drops in, terrify away those Skaven Slaves, and suddenly these Rat Ogres are all exposed by themselves, fighting all these Empire Knights, who are now actually pulling back away there. So yeah, pretty rough stuff. Does look like the Globadiers are just about into position. They really, they're one of the best Skaven tools for dealing with heavy cavalry and big monster swords and things like that. Meanwhile, over on the low ground, we've got an engagement unfolding here. These Rat Ogres going to catch some swordsmen. Pretty unfortunate for the Empire. Those swordsmen are probably a goner. The Flagellants, though, charging downhill will do pretty well, and you can see the Empire player just kind of pushing everything up towards the top of the hill there. You can see this unit of Rat Ogres that got isolated, got collapsed and terrified. The General of the Empire does try and come down after Skrolk here. You can see the Empire Knights doing a great job prioritizing the Poison Wind Globadiers as their #1 target, because of course with the Globadiers' huge anti-large missile bonus, they can do a lot of damage to large targets. Looks like Lord Skrolk dropping all the magics there. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. Wither, Rod of Corruption, looks like an upgraded Earthblood as well. So yeah, this unit of Poison Globadiers, though, in an excellent position to fire up and over this little crest here. Let's see if they start tossing some of those globes. We'll do some good damage. The General of the Empire popping back up in the air, not wanting to stay on the ground. It does look like one unit of Empire Knights has been routed, but the other one's doing a very good job chasing after these routing Skaven Slaves. Meanwhile, over on the low ground, we do have a pitched battle developing between these Flagellants and the Rats here. Flagellants obviously will carry the day against Skaven Slaves, although Plague Monks will do a bit better. I'm not actually 100% certain who wins that fight. Probably Plague Monks, but anyway. Can see Skaven have cleaned up some swordsmen and some other Skaven Slave Spears. These forces need to start pushing up the hill, rolling up the flank here. And the Hell Pit Abomination also just now getting involved here. Ooh, looks like a very nice Plague Breath, just tearing apart those Free Company Militia. Looks like a lot of them going to be getting back up. Did catch a good number of those Flagellants as well. But the Empire Knights, there's just nothing to oppose them, nothing to protect these Poison Wind Globadiers who are just getting lanced down through the forest here. And yeah, you can see the, oh, I forget the name of the effect here. Not Strength in Numbers, the opposite one. That Scurry Away is starting to go off here in general aspect. especially with the General of the Empire coming down, dropping that quick terror bomb, although it looks like the Poisman Globadier is actually able to hold their leadership together. The Hell Pit Abomination did get up on the high ground and has terrified away some of these Free Company and the Swordsmen, so Skaven not quite out of this yet, although it's not looking great for them. On the low ground, Plague Monks and these Rat Ogres going to clean up the Tattersouls without too much issue, and there's definitely a second push coming from the Skaven. The issue is, can he deal with his Empire Knights, and right now his biggest tools for doing so are getting shut down hardcore. These Poison Globadiers just getting continuously cycle charged by the Empire Knights here. Rat Ogres are obviously a tool as well, but those Poison Globadiers are especially key here. But the Empire Knights just doing a great job rampaging around, ping-ponging from place to place, never staying in place for too long at any one time. You can see 3 units still on board here, all cleaning up routing units. The Hell Pit Abomination getting a hold of the 4th unit here that had routed off, now has returned. But Hell Pit probably going to want to try and stay close to Lord Skrolk. Looks like another very nice Rod of Corruption going down here. Skrolk will be able to actually do quite well against these big blobs of white troops. He has decent combat stats, and it looks like a brutal Plague Breath is ripping apart the units all around him with the Hell Pit Abomination. Man, what a cool shot there. Hell Pit Abomination fighting right on top of Skrolk. You can see the General of the Empire comes down. This is honestly pretty risky with the Hell Pit Abomination standing right here. He probably wants to try and finish off Skrolk's leadership, but you can see on the low ground here, Tattersouls getting another engagement with those Plague Monks. But man, these Empire Knights just being absolute MVPs, cleaning up on all fronts. And of course the Tattersouls are more than happy to stay in place while the grenade launchers do the work here, but it does look like they're pulling back and away, not wanting to get bogged down by those Skaven Slave Spears, although here comes the downhill charge into the unbraced Skaven Slave Spears, and yeah, they're probably just going to be routed off immediately, more or less. And looking pretty rough for the Skaven at this point. You can see the balance of power has taken a turn for the worse, decisively in the Empire's favor. Another Skaven summon here, going to try and even things out. Skrolk still fighting up on top of this Hell Pit, and that in and of itself is pretty scary. This General of the Empire comes down once more, but again, the Hell Pit's probably going to be able to deal with him without too much issue. The main problem is there's still quite a few Free Company militia, and of course all of these Empire Knights that are still all relatively healthy, and the grenade launchers doing a great job cleaning up some of these Skaven's infantry here, the slaves and the clan rats and so on. So yeah, you can see the Hell Pit trying to support still. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough at the end of the day. This one is going to be victory for the Empire. All said and done pretty much at this point. Now it's just a couple of minutes of trying to clean things up here. Aerocrastic's going to try and bring it back. Honestly, the balance of power not completely out of it, but he's going to have a really hard time dealing, especially with all these Free Company. The Hell Pit Abomination could take out on a lot of the troops here if it weren't for these Free Company. They're going to be super clutch in this late game here, popping up and over the crest, using their pistols to fire away here. We'll grab some shots of these guys opening up fire. Man, what a cool unit. Love Free Company. Super useful in this particular matchup as well. They're going to be applying some really nice missile pressure here, and now is the final stand of the Skaven. You can see Lord Skrolk fighting away here, doing a great job clearing through a lot of these light state troops. But yeah, the Hell Pit just not able to sustain the leadership from all that fire, and I'm not 100% sure what happened to the General of the Empire. Looks like he went up and over the hill to finish off some routing troops over here. But yeah, nice crossfire being formed by the Free Company militia. The Hell Pit Abomination tries to push through and get on top of them, but now the Empire Knights charging in on the Hell Pit itself with their charge bonus, 48, not terrible. They'll be able to do a little bit of damage here, but more importantly, they're able to pin the Hell Pit in and allow the Free Company to get the damage done. Very nice Overcast Earthblood coming down just to heal up all these troops, make sure they stay nice and healthy as they finish off the Hell Pit here. So well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks to Aerocrastic, rather, for posting this one on the tournament Discord. And who is he fighting, you ask? Well, none other than our very own Blacksland Soothsayer. So, very fun stuff. Love Empire, as you guys know, and using Empire Knights to very good effect in this particular matchup. Very good stuff. Let's take a look at the end screen, and we'll go from there. So, at the end of the day, 168 kills from Lord Skrolk. He was just tearing apart those light Empire infantry with the Plague Breath there, just an absolute monster. Of course, he also has like the Rod of Corruption and so forth to deal damage. So yeah, he was definitely a powerhouse. The assassin, of course, helping to take down the general of the Empire. Unfortunately, they weren't quite able to finish him off, but, you know, having the assassin kind of as a bodyguard for Lord Skrulk makes him a lot less goonable, which is always nice. The slaves did a good job of absorbing fire, but the plague monks unfortunately just didn't quite get the work done that they needed to. One of the units, 131 kills, pretty decent, on 110 on one of the units, rat ogres as well. Fortunately, the other one's just not quite paying off. That's one of the biggest issues I find with Poisonwind Globadiers as well, is because they have such short range, you have to get pretty danger close to enemy cavalry or large units to be able to get effective fire. And because you have to get so close, oftentimes those large units and of course cavalry are all very mobile, so they can punch through the Skaven front line and then get onto your Globadiers, which is always a huge pain. Makes using them really, really tough. So honestly, the Skaven do need that mid-range AP of like the Rattling Gunners and Warblock Giselles and so on, but we'll have to unfortunately wait for 2019 for that. But yeah, for Tlaxlan Soothsayer, man, those Empire Knights just absolute MVPs. 139, 55, 86, and 65 with XP chevrons to go around. 156 on the Tattersouls. They did a great job. In general, I think Tlaxlan Soothsayer's infantry composition is very strong here, mixing the swordsmen with the flagellants, a couple of spearmen, and the Free Company to help clean up the large units. You saw in the late game there, they're able to clean up that hell pit no problem. That's exactly what I like these guys for. And of course, they're also very good shooting at rat ogres, and with their decent combat stats, they're pretty survivable against Skaven clan rat summons in your back line, so you don't have to worry quite so much about that. Just in general, really good unit here. The 177 kills too on the Outriders with grenade launchers somehow didn't get an XP chevron. That tells me that most of those 177 were probably Skaven slaves, but yeah, nevertheless, still pretty good work. I do like that pick quite a bit here as well. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. Fun battle. Thanks again to Aerocrastic for posting that. So if you guys do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.